was this past Friday, and we had 3 kids doing Halloween, but all in different stages.
So weird this year.
Yeah, so, every year it's different, just like Easter. It's on a different day, right? Mm-hmm. Because it's not like the third Thursday.
Yep.
It's the date. So 31st coincided with Friday, a Pope football game at home.
Home game on Halloween.
Yeah, so our son really wanted to pass out candy because it's his first year. He's in 6th grade. Didn't want to do costumes, wanted to do the adult thing.
Wanted to feel cool and old.
Yeah. Yeah. So he sat on the front porch waiting for people, and only one group came because they were all at the football game.
I've talked to a few people, and, depending upon where you are, some people were like, this year was great for trick-or-treaters, and others are like, this year was awful for trick-or-treaters.
It really depends on where you are.
Yeah, like last year, our business partner Reed, his neighborhood was dead quiet, and this year it was like super popping. Like everybody was out. The last year, our neighborhood was full and vibrant, and everybody was out. This year, there were only a handful of people walking around, but I think that's because Pope did a trick-or-treat event.
Yeah.
Before the game, and just in our whole area, like you go outside and all you hear is like the loudspeakers over at Pope. So
yeah. And then your mountain biking team, you are a coach now, so that season has wrapped up.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I could not go to that party.
That's okay. You were the savior to my mother, who was having some car problems this weekend. So instead of meeting us at the end of season party for the Soap Creek composite team, you were so generous and kind and went and picked her up and took her home until I was able to get to it. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
But yeah, just another wrench in everyday plans. It seems like every day it's another one. Mm-hmm. But we also got a chance to go and see Santa. So Santa photos are done.
Isn't this our 12th year doing it? 13th? 13th year.
13th year.
Holy cow. We do this every year. Santa at Phipps. He is the Santa to go to in Atlanta.
Yeah. We're going to cover him on our local spotlight.
Oh, yeah. Okay, good. Because he's been around for 40 years.
So we'll get to that here in a little bit. Community. Kiwanis has completed our diaper drive. We raised over 7,000 diapers and wipes. So thank you to everybody who donated. All of those were donated to Cobb County's Diaper Day. So we went and dropped them off at Cobb EMC in their little garden area. And all of those diapers are going to go to help low-income families because I just learned this. I guess SNAP benefits don't cover diaper purchases.
Correct.
So this is a great way that our community was able to come together and help. Cobb EMC was trying to raise 100,000 diapers. We don't know the total number that they were raised yet, but we'll try and find that out.
I can't even imagine when we were younger and had younger children, they went through so many of these diapers.
Yeah.
And
so many.
I keep on thinking, how did women keep up with washing these cloth diapers when the disposable ones weren't there? There's just so many. And then think about how many kids that they had. How many butts, right?
Yeah.
Oh, can you imagine that diaper line on the clothesline?
No.
You've never thought about that, have you?
No. I think I've purposely not tried to think about the complexities of how hard it was to raise kids. Like
the whole day is just washing diapers.
Yeah, like pre-washing machines, right?
Yeah.
Because you didn't have 50 diapers. Cloth diapers, right? And put it in a bag and throw it in a washing machine. You had to do it one at a time.
Yeah.
Oof, gross.
All right.
Here's to modern living.
Yes.
Love it.
Well, that's the diapers. That's a tangent. Uh, you wanted to talk about North Cooper Lake Park because you were just there and you had a blast.
We really did. So for our end of season party, we all got together at North Cooper Lake Park. This is in Smyrna. The address is 4201 Cooper Lake Road. And first time going to this park. I grew up, spent a lot of time in my childhood in Smyrna, but never here. And I don't know that this park even existed when I was a kid. But we went there, and it's got some really cool stuff. So if you like bicycling or BMX or mountain biking.
But you even told me that they're electric mountain bikes now, so you don't even have to try.
Yeah, well, we could talk about that if we have some time. But this park was really cool. There's a community garden on one side, and the other side it's this whole bike and walking park. So there's two different tracks. They have a small track and a large track. And these are just trails. Well, it's not trails. It's like an obstacle course that's set up for bikes. Mm-hmm. So the girls were on the smaller track. So they have some little narrow bridges that you kind of ride your bike over. They have a couple of platforms where you kind of go up and over.
It's like an agility course for bicycles.
Yeah, there's tunnels that go through it. They've got like a little slalom area, and the girls were out there with their little frozen bikes, and they had so much fun. James and I were out there with the bigger bikes. We were doing both courses, so you can get out on the big course, or you could do the little course with a big bike. We had so much fun, and it was just really cool to see a new park. There's not a lot of places where you can go and just get out there, have a lot of fun without having to do a lot of work, like a lot of setup, a lot of takedown. And when you're talking mountain biking, if you just want to get out and go play for a little while without it being too serious or having to pack like a whole backpack full of water and gear, this is a great place to do it. It's 25-30 minutes away from East Cobb, and we get out there, you park, and you're right next to the park. Now, there's a whole playground, too, so the kids were having fun. There was a big pergola and event space.
Mm-hmm. There's a community garden, too,
yeah,
I'm reading.
And the community garden was huge.
Yeah? What did they grow?
I have no idea. But I saw it, and it was big, and there were a bunch of people out. Like, half of the parking lot probably had, like, 3 or 4. There were a bunch of cars that had, like, plants and stuff, so they were working in the garden.
Aww.
The other cars all had bike racks on it. And what was really cool is we were out there on a Saturday, great weather, or Sunday, great weather, and with the whole mountain biking team, which makes up like 7 different schools, and all the regulars at the park, there was still plenty of room. Like, it didn't feel crowded. Even, sometimes you go to a park and if there's an event going on, like, it feels crowded. It feels like you don't want to be there. There was so much space, like, not a problem. You can have a whole event going on and still go out to this park and just ride and have fun. I think there were some trails too that we didn't get a chance to explore.
And actual restrooms?
But there were restrooms, the playground, parking was easy to get in and out of. Traffic wasn't that bad as long as you're okay with, your locals driving 10 miles an hour under the speed limit in a 25. But just, it was a lot of fun. We got to explore, find someplace new. And that's what I love doing more than anything else, is just getting out and finding new things that I didn't know about.
So these restrooms, okay, being a mom, and obviously you're a dad, but being parents of little kids, there are things that you don't think about. A restroom is one of them, because they are terrified of the Alaskan public restrooms.
Oh, God.
Is it like this there, or is it?
I don't know, because just like you mentioned, I didn't think about them. So it was funny because the kids didn't think about them either. Mm-hmm. We went, we had fun. We were there for like 2.5 hours. End of the event, started raining, so we got out of there. And as soon as we didn't even make it home, we got to racetrack here. And Scarlett's like, I need the restroom.
Oh.
Because they had restrooms, but we were just so busy having fun, we didn't even think about it.
Okay, because they're terrified of the ones in Alaska.
They really are.
It's a pit bathroom because we go to fishing places, so they're really kind of remote and only open seasonally.
They're outhouse restrooms. They're public outhouses.
Yes, but when you're a child with a small booty, you look like you're going to fall into...
You could actually fall into one of those.
I know, you can.
They're deep and they're gross. And there have been stories of people falling into them.
No, really?
Oh, God. The Meat Eater podcast? So I like to listen to the Meat Eater podcast in my free time. And probably last year, 2 years ago, they had this whole series.
Was it a kid?
No, they were covering a news article where, like, somebody fell in and had to be rescued.
My butt is not that small.
Mine isn't either, but a 6-year-old is.
Yeah. Oh, that's nasty.
Yeah.
That's the worst memory in your life, probably.
I mean, that's a memory that you won't get rid of. That's a smell you won't get rid of anytime soon.
No, but I don't think that this is going to be, because Cooper Lake is really becoming more and more populated. We used to go to high school around this area. And I remember driving with you around Cooper Lake Park, Cooper Lake area. Mm-hmm. It was kind of like a main thoroughfare, right? Like we would go back and forth. So
we were always down there because
it's not out of the way.
There's the softball fields down off of Cooper Lake, and we were always hanging out with the girls and wanted to go to their games and stuff like that. This is before you. But, so, I mean, we were always spending time down there. And then on the other side of North Cooper Lake, right around that area, there used to be this Smyrna public pool. And just as a kid, we'd always just go around to wherever our friends were. So sometimes we'd ride around and we'd go there, or we'd go to the softball fields, or... Yeah.
Can you believe, though, that this is a 51-acre park?
No, I really can't.
I mean, that's why there's plenty of space, because 51 acres, even if you have 7 schools there, mountain bikes everywhere, 51 acres, you can spread out.
Yeah.
And, you can even preserve these pavilions.
Yeah,
you really want to?
You can reserve them.
Yeah.
I got some information right here on that. So if you want to set up a party or something like that, you can go and reserve the pavilion. You call 678-631-5395. And the pavilion was huge, like lots of trash cans. It was... You didn't feel like you were in a public park. You really felt more like it was an event space.
Really?
Yeah, it was really nice. The pavilion kind of reminded me of the pole barns that they kind of use up in, what's that neighborhood?
Is it like the Marietta campground?
No. This felt more like it was a golf course.
Really?
Like this felt like it was a country club pavilion.
Really?
Yeah, and
not like a revival pavilion.
No, this was all new. It was very well designed, architecturally beautiful. It was a really. We'll go back.
Okay.
Because I have a feeling that this is going to be like one of our hot bike spots, because it's so easy. You just get out of the car, you're right there. You don't have to pack anything, and you're just out and ride.
Most of the mountain bike places around here are like that, though. You just hop off and then get on, and then it's right there.
Well, most of the places that we've gone are single track. Okay, so single track is you're going out, and you have a trail that's kind of like miles long. Some of them are half a mile long, some of them are a mile and a half, some of them are 4 miles, and some of them multi-connect, so you can kind of create your own distance. Mm-hmm. Now, this is not that. So when you're doing single track, you're bringing your gear with you, because you can be 3 or 4 miles away from your car, and you get a pop tire, or you need your water bottle, you need your tools with you. So generally, I'm riding with a pack on, especially if I've got the kids with me, because if something goes wrong with them, or I'm hungry, or this or that or the other. This is kind of like an open area with obstacles. and it's right by the parking lot. So you don't, if something goes wrong, you don't have to carry stuff with you. It's so nice. You're there. And if you get a break, you don't have to like lug everything. You just walk up to your car and fix it. So,
it's astounding how little we had to carry when we were younger. Because everyone else would carry it for us.
Yeah, you become the parent, and then you learn what it's like to be a pack mule.
And backs that are creaky, and then you said the skeleton's talking to you.
Oh yeah, my bones have conversations with me almost weekly now, especially whenever I'm working out, because the next day it's you hear the snap, crackle, and pop. I feel like my skeleton is the Rice Krispies Treats commercials.
You just roll your shoulders and then crack, crack,
all
crack,
the
crack.
time.
Oh, I just did that right now.
There you go.
Oh.
I think I heard that from here, even underneath the
oh, gross.
the headphones I get on.
Well, I wanted to interview you, if that's okay.
You want to interview me? Oh no. What did I do?
You graduated from the Cobb 101 Citizens Government Academy.
I did.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
This has been a very long process.
It was 12 weeks.
But no, it started before that because you had to apply. They
Yep.
had to review your application and they had to actually accept you. And then you had to go and mandatory attendance to all these except for one.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that every time you came home, you came back with more information and more. You could always tie it back into real estate, which was amazing because what you've learned has facilitated these conversations that you can actually problem solve now.
Yeah, I learned a whole lot about how our county works. So Cobb 101, it's a Citizens Government Academy, so it's a 12-week training program, basically, where you're exposed to like the inner workings of our county government.
And it's not just business owners either.
No, I mean there were retirees in the class. There were just people. This class is put on to educate people who are involved in the community as to how the county works. Mm-hmm. So we had PTA reps. I'm in real estate. We had insurance people that work in insurance and interact with people in the county. We had people that serve on boards, whether that's PTA or I think there were some folks that are on the Veterans Memorial Board for the Marietta Project. There are people that have interest in pursuing elected office one day. There are people that were just retirees and they wanted to learn more about how the process works. I wanted to learn more about how the process works twofold. One, because real estate, right? I want to know how our county operates, but also just to be an informed citizen. So anybody can go and you can apply.
So anybody can apply.
Anybody can apply. There were over 120 applicants.
That's amazing.
Yeah, at the start of our class, first class, they told us, how many. I think it was like 130, 140, somewhere in there. But I know it's over 120. Out of that, they selected 37 of us, plus or minus. And we had 25 graduate.
Really?
Yeah, there were 25 graduates.
12 people didn't graduate?
So in order to graduate the class, you can't miss more than one. So if somebody came in and had, conflicts during the 12-week program and they missed 2 classes, well,
oh my gosh,
they're out. Yeah, they were serious about it.
60-something% graduation rate.
Yeah.
That is tough.
We are the 5th class of Cobb 101. This was started right around 2020. And this was actually a project that our current chairwoman, Lisa Cupid, when she was a commissioner, she wanted to create a pathway for more education. So Cobb 101 was kind of her brainchild. And there's a lot of people in our county government that work really hard to put on this program. Because there are lots of programs like this in different counties throughout the nation. Like Gwinnett has their own program, but to kind of compare and contrast, Cobb County, does everything that Gwinnett does with a fraction of the workforce and a fraction of the budget. We are way more efficiently run than Gwinnett and Fulton and a lot of our counties, because at every turn, basically, where there was an opportunity to compare and contrast kind of like how Cobb does it versus how Fulton does it or how Gwinnett does it, it seemed like for every department, for every team, Cobb is doing it with half to a third of the staff and half to a third of the budget. And the results that they do, depending upon the department, blow away our competing counties. So I learned a lot. And yeah, as you mentioned, it became just random community facts that make their way into everyday conversation now.
I mean, so that's a general view. Which class? Because every time you went, it was a department. So like water management or I don't know, whatever you did, right? So which one did you like the most?
That's really hard. So there's a few that I really enjoyed. One, I liked learning about the court system. I don't know that was probably the most impactful to me, but I enjoyed it because, you know, when I was younger, I had this desire to be pre-law and kind of go that path. So the law always fascinates me. I think that the one class where I learned the most was probably our public services class. So we did one class where we covered library system of Georgia, or of Cobb County. We covered UGA's agricultural extension, the library system, waste management, senior services, and a handful of others. And in that one night, we were over at the library on Lower Roswell Road, and we learned about everything that the library offers. Like, did you know that the library has a full recording studio that's available first come, first serve? You could just go in. They have instruments, they have recording, they have computers, like they have Mac Pros that you can just go in and edit on.
Play chopsticks and record it there?
You could. You could shoot full music videos. And in the library here in East Cobb, like they have that. They have.
I mean, we do have musicians around here, so I mean, like what we have, Usher, T.I.
Well, they had to kick out a local band for our event because our event was scheduled, but they had somebody that was there and they were working. They're like, hey guys, you've got like 10 more minutes for today. We'd love to have you back, but we've got an event tonight.
Can you imagine like one of the major rappers going there and then rapping in the library itself?
I could, because I looked at the equipment. They have like Shure mics.
Wow.
Like they have very high end, like professional equipment there. It's cool. So learning about waste management and, you know, our landfill situation and the challenges that we're going to have over the next 10, 15, 20, 40 years.
You really were interested in that, in the trash.
I think that class was, some classes were like a handful of things that they're going to cover and they're going to cover it in depth. That class was, we're going to cover a little bit, like an overview, but of a lot of different things. So learning how the University of Georgia's agricultural extension offices, so UGA Extension, there's one in every county in the state of Georgia, learning how that interacts with local county, because it's a county service, but it's put on by the university. They kind of work together. That was cool. Learning the senior services that are available to our seniors here in Cobb County. It's insane. They've got some really cool stuff. Did you know if you're like 65 and you qualify for senior services, you have a full gym that you can go to whenever you want? Education classes, social classes. They have a cafeteria with like a lunch bar. They have yoga classes. They have finance classes. They have advanced learning. Like you can continue learning.
Finance classes?
They will do classes on taxes and estate planning, and and they bring in pros. So that was probably one of the most eye-opening classes, right? Because I saw so much and had exposure to so many different areas. trying to think. And then, the real estate related one, planning and zoning, was probably really important as well. Like learning.
That was practical.
It was practical, yeah.
Yeah.
Knowing which departments to go to. Every week we had a different department, and these departments, like I said, Gwinnett had a staff that did this whole program. Our departments put on what they teach us here. They didn't have like a staff person who's in charge of this whole class for the whole county.
Yeah.
It rotates, and every department put on their own thing. So they were all utilizing the people that are working here every day, and they built this game for planning and zoning. And we had a zoning map, and we had to like create our own city.
You did?
Yeah.
What was your city called?
We didn't create a name.
Oh.
But we ended up having a bunch of apartment complexes right on the lake, and we had whole, like, you choose your zoning. Like, here's multifamily, here's single family.
Do you get Monopoly money to play with?
No, but
It's not that in depth.
It is that in depth, but it's different because what they do is the questions for the game, like we build it, and then they ask us a bunch of questions, and we have to figure out the scenario, which department is responsible for the scenario, whether that's planning and zoning, like there's development, there was planning, there was zoning, there was
Here,
utilities.
Let me play a game with you.
Sure.
Okay, so I am a neighbor,
Okay.
and they have a problem of traffic. They live in a neighborhood where there's a cut through and no speed bumps or anything like that. There are people zooming around 40 miles per hour, and you have a 2-year-old that can open the door now. Who do you contact?
So the one cool thing about Cobb County when it comes to communication is you can call the main county number. And we have a new software in Cobb County where our contact department, when you call them, you get into our communications department and you can ask them anything about anything in the county. And they have a series of questions to help filter down your needs and get you to the right department. So
This is a real person?
This is a real person. It's not AI. There are counties that are doing AI. We are doing real people.
I want to talk to a person.
Yep. And they have software to help you get to the right department. So an example here is if you're calling into the county and you're calling about trash on the highway, they're going to ask you a series of questions. So like there's 3 different departments you can end up being transferred to depending upon the type and the situation of the trash on the highway, right? Whether it's about to fall off a vehicle, has fallen off of a vehicle and is small, or has fallen off of a vehicle and is large. Right?
So I was on Loop 120 one time, and there was a mattress in the middle of the 2 lanes.
Yeah. So if you called the county,
I called 911 because...
you could do that.
Okay.
The county, it's better to call the county on situations like that because 911, you get charged, right? There's a lot of expenses that go into 911.
Yeah. But when you have a giant mattress in the middle of the road too, and then there's very little space on either side to move, then yeah, I'm going to call whatever.
Calling somebody is better than not calling anybody.
Right.
But there's like Department of Transportation, maybe one area, or it could be the police, right? If it's imminent danger, it's hanging out, it's going to fall off, that's the police. So you have all these different options, and they're going to work through that with you. Now, if you have changes that you want to make to your neighborhood, we have there are informational positions within zoning and planning and DOT and all of this.
What do you mean?
So
Informational
you can go to the physical office, or you can call into the county for your DOT or your planning and zoning requests. Okay, so as far as figuring out which department is going to handle adding speed bumps, I have no idea, right? That wasn't something that we actually covered. But if you have a problem, you one, call the county number. You ask, say, hey, this is what I'm doing. Who do I talk to? And they're going to get you to the right person. If you know the department, then you just call them up, and they will give you the information for the procedures. So you get to the right department, and I'm sure I know when it comes to like improvements, the community has to come together and ratify those improvements. Like they're not just going to go out and install a speed bump because one person requests it.
Well, what about if your house, you need to do something like a deck addition? Then what do you do?
So that's our permitting department.
Okay.
And that falls under the development side of things.
Yeah. Y'all, did you know that you actually have to have a permit?
You do.
To do these things?
So most of the cosmetic stuff in your house, you don't need a permit for. You don't want to, if you want to paint, you want to put some new flooring down, that's fine. But if you're going to alter the structure or the systems are plumbing or electrical related, or there's construction involved, there is a permitting process. And that process is there to protect consumers. We're in real estate, so we see it all the time, but I don't see it like the county sees it. And one thing that I learned in our planning and zoning is that if you're buying a house and it's a renovation, well, you can check to see if permits were pulled for that renovation. If they weren't pulled, you can notify the county of that, and the county will go to the owner and require them to retroactively apply for and pass all permitting. And sometimes that means they got to open up the walls and show the electrical work that they did. Yeah. Well, here's why. The county has gone out on some of these investor flips, and they'll go in and open up the walls and find that there's exposed wires, and wires are connected outside of junction boxes, like serious fire hazards. Sure. Right? And when you go to sell your house, if the work wasn't permitted, guess who's responsible for that? Like, when you buy a house, you're not just taking on the work that the previous owner did. You're taking on the liability when you go to sell that in the future. Yeah. And you're taking on the liability for living in that house, because what if it catches on fire?
It's a caveat emptor state.
Yes, which means buyer beware, if you've never heard that phrase before, which means that when you're buying something in our state, you've got to put in the due diligence. It's on you to understand what you're buying, because the moment that you give the money and sign the paperwork, the house is now yours. And unless you can prove fraud, which is very difficult, in my 15 years, I've had a lot of people raise their arms and say, so-and-so did fraud, blah, blah, blah. I have yet to see somebody actually go into a lawsuit over this and take it to court because they feel like they have enough evidence.
All right, you've scared me enough to get a permit, right?
So
how long does this take?
A couple of days.
What?
Yeah, you go in, they'll give you the permit right then and there, or within 24 hours. And then when you need to do the inspection, Cobb County turns around the inspections usually within 24 to 48 hours.
So what if you're doing it next fall?
If you're doing work next fall,
way too far ahead.
You're way too far ahead. You just make sure that so if you're going to hire a contractor to do the work and the contractor pulls the permits, and then you fire the contractor and change contractors, well, your next contractor is going to have to pull new permits. The permit belongs to whoever applies for it.
How much is this?
They vary, but I mean, processing fees?
Okay.
The county is not out to make money on this. The county is out to just regulate safety.
Okay.
So when you go and you pull the permit, it's there. If you pull it as the homeowner, you can then hire whoever you want, and they can do the work under that permit. Mm-hmm. But if the contractor pulls it, the contractor is the one that has to complete it. As the homeowner, you just have to make sure that any work that requires a permit gets a permit.
So usually when the mismatch of square footage from an owner-provided square footage, which is usually larger, compared to a tax record square footage, if there's a big gap, could that have been unpermitted?
It possibly could have been. It also that can be chalked up to a few different things. It could be chalked up to data entry. It could be chalked up to additions being added over time that weren't permitted, so the county didn't get that updated plan with the updated square footage. Or it could be due to just a basement being finished out. And that may or may not require permitting depending upon how it was done, right? If the duct work and the plumbing is all done and all you're doing is installing stuff, it might not require a permit, right? Just drywall and carpet. But if you're doing plumbing work to a basement, you can then have that permit that would update the square footage.
Huh.
So
much information.
Yeah, this is why real estate can be confusing, because there's so many variables that go into play, and the scenario oftentimes dictates like the outcome.
Okay. So today is election day.
Yes, it is. Which is always a fun day in our house because your father has a very Japanese accent. But I'm not going to say anything else on that. Y'all use your imagination.
He switches his R's and L's.
Yes, he does.
So one of the items on the ballot is SPLOST. And that word, before we even started looking into government and then you did this 101, we would see SPLOST on signs a lot of places, usually by parks, schools. What is SPLOST and what does it do for people in Cobb County?
So there are different types of SPLOSTs, okay? But a SPLOST is a special purpose local optional sales tax. And it's like an extra penny on top of every dollar that you spend in the county. And those funds go towards special projects that are voted on. So when it is an improvement tax, and there's usually an educational SPLOST, and or sometimes there's a transportation SPLOST, which is a T-SPLOST. Some are improvements. So you see like infrastructure, sometimes that'll get replaced. The roundabouts in front of Pope were part of a SPLOST program. There's a little sign out there that says, this is thanks to your tax dollars. The way a SPLOST works is basically when the county has projects that they need to do, they will put it as a referendum that you vote on. And it's valid for a certain number of years. So the tax will be valid for X amount of years. The projects can go on for quite some time. Like there's still projects that are using like the 2014 SPLOST.
Wow, really?
Yeah. And the funds have to be used in a certain way, right? So if they have to be used towards those projects that they are voted on, and there's some kind of flexibility, right? So the county can, if one project ends up being less money, they can use those funds for a similar purpose. But it goes towards improvement, and it's like our school revitalizations are usually done with the educational SPLOSTs. So your new Osborne, your Sprayberry High School, your career and innovation technology centers that are going in. We got one at Osborne, one's going in at Allatoona High School. So these are thanks to your SPLOST dollars.
All right.
Funny enough, your sales tax is 6% in Cobb County. It's 7 or 8 in most of our surrounding counties, except for Cherokee. Most, like out of the 6%, 1% goes to the county. The rest, 1% goes to the county, 1% goes to the school, and 4% goes to the state. So if you're curious about how efficiently we are run, your sales tax here is much lower than your surrounding counties. So is your property tax, because we've got some great exemptions too. So that's what makes Cobb such a great place to live.
That's awesome. Hey, let's switch gears.
All right, let's switch.
Something else that we did.
Yeah.
It was a really family heavy weekend this weekend with the mountain biking team and everything. We also went to go see Santa at Phipps.
He's here. I know him. Santa.
Well, earlier this year, we went to North Pole, Alaska.
We did.
And not the North Pole, but North Pole, Alaska. And Santa at Phipps confirmed that he was on a bathroom break and he went back while he was at the North Pole.
Yep.
And saw our kids. So haven't,
Because we showed up at the Christmas shop and Santa was on break and he came back, so we got a photo with him up there. And when our kids saw him this past weekend, they made sure to tell him, "Hey, we saw you this summer in North Pole, Alaska. Do you remember us?"
Well, so this guy, bless his heart, he's been doing it for so long, and he's just perfect in every way, like Coca-Cola perfect. Absolutely adorable, and the backgrounds are top-notch.
Oh, yeah.
Always. It's always this beautiful photo, and we've been doing it for 13 years. So we have all the way from non-walking, chubby legs to preteen, middle schooler, I don't want to be here kind of thing.
Yeah, I think I love the early ones where it's, they're babies and they don't even know what's going on and they're just drooling, all the way up to, we had the screaming years. The screaming years happened, Santa crying, and then now we're in more of like the preteen attitude about doing things phase. So, it's not without its challenges, but fortunately the tears ended with enough time for us to get a couple of good photos out of it. And then we got some Johnny Rockets for lunch, and you went off to meet up with some friends.
Yeah, so the only thing about the Santa is that he is so popular that you actually have to register a whole half year ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about dropping by and taking photos, I wouldn't do that. They try to squeeze you in, but it's kind of hit or miss. Our first year, we learned about the Santa, and we were incredibly late because we weren't planning on taking Santa photos while I was still pregnant. We had other issues going on, like preeclampsia, etc. So
James is born in August. He was 6 weeks early. 4 weeks early.
Well,
so we're focused on other things. By the time October, November rolls around, we're like, we need Santa photos.
And we quick Google, everyone's saying that this one is the best in Atlanta. So we're like, okay. And lo and behold, as a new parent, of course, we didn't know that while I was 3 months pregnant, I had to book the Santa.
Yeah, because this is an appointment-only Buckhead tradition. It routinely sells out before we even get to Halloween, because they're pre-registration, limited time slots. But back when James was, months old, we were able to call and they had a cancellation and got us in the same day. So we scrambled to get, everything together, get James in the car, go to Carter's, buy like an outfit for him, and get down to the mall to make this one slot that they were able to fit us in for.
Yeah.
But the operation's run by Santa at Phipps.com. So Santa at Phipps with 2 P's.com, Phipps. They do 5 appointments every 15 minutes. So a lot of families go through this because they're starting right at Halloween. The last weekend in October is the first start of getting your photos. They're deep roots here. So
we do it really early so that we can get Christmas cards printed
Yes.
in time, so we have a turnaround time. But you definitely don't have to do it as early as we do.
You don't, and
there
now
is something about going trick or treating and then the next day going to see Santa that's a little jarring to people. So yeah.
Well, now we don't have to wait for photos because they will you'll leave with your USB drive, and if you order prints, they'll have those shipped to you. But if you get the digital, you actually walk away from your shoot with your USB drive in hand and your photos to go. So if you do need photos and you do the digital package, you can send your cards out same day.
Oh, it's a fancy one.
It
too.
is fancy.
It doesn't even have just the USB part. You can switch it around. It has a USB-C.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So this is such an Atlanta tradition, okay, that back in 2010, 2011, Atlanta Magazine did a whole profile on the legendary Santa at Phipps. And they were talking about the intense demand, enough to crash the booking site back in the day, which, this is back in when everything was just moving over to the internet.
These Santas, though, apparently there's a hierarchy, and they all compete for the top job, and Santa at Phipps is the top job.
It is.
In Atlanta.
It sure is. And our current Santa has been doing this since 2006. So we have the same Santa every year in every photo, and that's one of the nice things about this is it is a very long-term position. It doesn't change. It's the same bright, jolly smile.
I don't think he ages. It's magic.
I don't think he ages either.
Yes.
And, the kids absolutely love this because every year after Santa, they always want to go up to the Lego store and look at all the things and think about what they want for Christmas.
How was it?
It was good. We got a few photos for ideas of what people like. And James, I think, wants to do the Lego Maker Kit and make me a Lego man. Make me personally into it. Like, you can make your own Lego man.
You can?
You can design it. They'll 3D print it right there for you. There's kits that they sell.
3D print yourself?
Yeah, as a Lego person.
What features would you have? Red
I have
hair,
no idea.
A red beard?
This is something James said he wanted to do. He's like, Dad, I want to make you.
You'd have a red beard, a widow's peak.
Of course.
Short hair.
My most bland features. Thanks.
Boots and a button-up shirt.
There we go.
Something like that, right?
Yeah.
I'd be in a dress.
Definitely. Maybe a mountain bike and a Pope jersey now because after volunteering, I'm officially a coach. They even gave me a jacket, which is nice.
You've been coaching since you were in college.
I have.
We didn't even have kids of our own. You just went and coached other people's kids.
Yeah, I was a soccer coach back in collge.
Yeah.
Athens, Clark County. Did
and
that
then
for a few
they went
years.
home. You didn't have to take care of them.
It was
yeah.
nice. It was real nice.
Yeah.
Totally.
So Phipps Plaza, it is a mall. It's been around for a very long time. And before I was born, pretty sure about that. And this one is Buckhead area.
Yeah, it's right across from Lenox Mall.
Yes.
So you get off at Lenox. If you're 400 south, you're just going to turn left and then, take your first left at the light, and there's the parking deck.
Well, it's in the financial district of Atlanta. So we have a lot of offices, exec buildings around there.
It's right next to CoStar's headquarters in Atlanta. Lots of restaurants.
So, if you can pull up a list of these restaurants, because being in the financial district and also in a very affluent area, you have some amazing food choices here.
Yeah.
Whether you're dining on your own or you have a business lunch, there's so many places you can choose from. One of the places in Phipps Plaza is Nobu. That is the Japanese fare restaurant. I have not tried it yet, but I've heard of that as well, so that's there. A few others that are there too that are really highly rated.
Yeah, let's see. We got 5 Church Buckhead. We've got 7 Lamps. We've got North Italia, The Palm, Sister. It's right across the street from one of my favorite bars, St. Cecilia. I love that restaurant.
And this is all within a 1 mile radius.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you go to Phipps, you could just park there and just walk around for the whole day.
Yeah.
There's a lot to do in the area. You've got Lenox Mall, which I don't know the current status of that. I haven't been in a mall in years. I remember that. I think there was some crime going on there maybe a couple of years ago. I don't know if they got that under control. But I feel like last year when we were at Phipps, there was a crime spree going on because they had all those officers walking around in Phipps. You remember that?
Yes.
Yeah. Didn't have that this year. So, thanks, Atlanta PD. Get it going.
But you know what? Even with that, though, I really am seeing the decline of the mall. Every time I have to stop in somewhere, I see fewer and fewer people out and about. The parking lots are deserted. And I feel like part of my childhood's gone.
Most of your childhood is gone. You're almost a middle-aged woman. I'm pretty sure all your childhood is gone.
Thanks. Well, that's harsh.
I love you.
Wow. Okay.
So much.
Would you like to talk about real estate instead of my disappearing childhood? And
it's okay. Mine's gone too. I mean, just think about this. Simon Mall earlier this year couldn't pay their power bill.
I feel so old. Anyways, Let's talk about real estate instead of how old I am.
All right. Let's talk about it. So we've got the numbers out for October. Cobb County, new listings up 5.8% year over year. Don't get excited. That means we have more homes to sell and not that we have more buyers or actually more homes closing.
We have fewer buyers. Pending sales are down 26% year over year.
Yeah, 533 pending sales in October for Cobb County. Closed sales 604, which is down 12.6% year over year. Median sales price is $420,000.
And think about all the inflation that has happened in the past 2 years.
Yeah, and with that inflation, with our median sales price, we're up 1.2% year over year on the median sales price, which means that our homes have lost money against inflation. If inflation's 3% and our home prices rose 1.2, we've lost 2.8%.
Exactly.
Right? Or 1.8%. So,
yes, math. Math.
Cherokee County, faring similar. We've got 530 new listings, which is up 8.4% year over year. We've got pending sales down 25.5% at 222 for the month of October. 280 closings, down 9.4% year over year. Median sales price is up at $500,000, which is a 4.2% year over year increase. Fun fact, if you remember, maybe a couple of months back, we covered the projected top 10 growing counties in Georgia. Cherokee County's on top 10. So I think they were ranked 4 or 6. And you're seeing that here. Our median sales price is going up as more people are going out there. Land is more readily available. And then what this basically means, across the board, supply is up. So more sellers are entering, fewer buyers are writing offers. Choice widens for buyers and raises the bar on pricing, presentation, and negotiation for sellers. So if you're a seller, you've got to work harder to make that house look appealing. You got to be very diligent on your pricing to make sure that you're accurate. And negotiation, you're going to have to give a little bit more for some of these buyers just to make the deals work.
Things that they can do is make sure that their AC is working correctly before they list right before spring starts, right? Just go ahead and get that taken care of in the wintertime.
If the house needs touch-up paint throughout, then get it done before you list. We got work starting on one of our listings that'll be coming up in Woodstock. The work's starting on that next week. We're having all the walls and trim painted before we have our photos.
It's getting pretty competitive.
It is.
Yeah.
So another takeaway here in our data is prices are kind of resilient. So we're seeing some struggles, but we're not seeing a collapse in the underlying fundamentals of the market. So,
well, it is balanced out with the inflation that's coming up too. So even though it is raising a little bit and not collapsing, you still have that balance with the inflation and the devaluation of the money. So,
and one of the things here is in strategy for this market, our sellers are having to shift a little bit. So we're winning by pricing where buyers are actually shopping. If the house may comp out at $525, but all the closings are happening at $500 or below, we might look at this and say it's in our best interest to price it at $500, not at $525, so that we're putting ourselves where the buyers already are, and going to them. And then 2, turnkey condition. So you want to, if your house needs maintenance, get that maintenance done before you bring it to market, right? Needs a new roof, have a new roof before you list. Needs a new HVAC, get that done beforehand.
But you have the word need there too.
Yes.
Not want. We're not talking about cosmetic things either.
Well,
other than paint.
In this market, the way I will phrase need is if it is beyond its service life. If you have a 30-year-old roof in a house today, no buyer in their right mind, unless they just have a lot of money or plan to do a lot of work to your house, is going to take on that project. Because insurance companies are giving buyers a hard time for roofs that are that old, and this is a big expense. So the buyers are going to want this work done. Buyer opportunities here, less multiple offer scenarios. So you're not going to get into those bidding wars that we were years ago. More room for inspection credits, for concessions on the closing costs, and having that seller buy down that interest rate might make sense as well, possibly more than a price reduction. So lots of things happening in the real estate market. And then, if you're thinking about listing now, between now and kind of the Super Bowl, your edge is a rate buy down plus a 2-week prep sprint. So what you want to do now to kind of the Super Bowl, end of February, is you want to get in there, be very aggressive, offer to buy down that rate, because we just had a couple of rate drops with the Fed, and then interest rates went up when Jerome Powell said that there might not be another cut in December. So we don't know what's going to happen there.
He didn't rule it out.
He didn't rule it out, but he also said some words that made it seem a little bit less likely.
Yeah.
And that was already priced in, so rates edged up a little bit. But you're just going to go and sprint to get the property on the market, be aggressive in your pricing, and try and get it under contract as soon as possible. In this market, if you're on the market for a long time, you're going to start getting some buyers who are being aggressive or trying to take advantage of the seasonality. And then you want to launch slightly below the comparison, right? So if you have your neighbor is the same house and layout and similar in features, and they're priced at $525, I might come in at $510.
I've actually seen some people undercutting their neighbors.
Oh, I totally
lately.
want to undercut my neighbor.
Yeah.
Yeah. They play their music way too loud. This is my chance to get even, okay? So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go in. I'm going to undercut them. I'm going to be better on pricing. I'm going to be more aggressive. I'm going to offer more to the buyer. I was talking to an agent who did a tour the other day at one of our listings, and I framed my feedback request a little different. I said, how is our value compared to the other homes you're touring? I said, are we giving more value for the same money, less value for the same money, or average?
What was the answer?
On this one, it was average. So the home that we were they came and toured our listing, and she said the other homes are very comparable for this price. Good. Which is why we haven't done a price reduction. But we also had the conversation with our clients. Hey, we're getting feedback that says the home is priced right, but we're not getting offers. So we're getting feedback from people who like looking at homes, but not from actual buyers. So we might need to make a price change.
There are people like that out there.
Yeah.
Side note here, because this is, you pretty much made your point with that one.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, this is, I wanted to give a seller point and a buyer point. These are things that you can take with you. But yeah, go ahead, hon.
So we went to an event maybe 3 years ago, and it was a couple that did real estate together, just like us. And they would go on vacation and go to open houses on vacation. That made my jaw drop.
I remember them.
I was just like,
Gross.
wait, what? Hold on.
Gross.
You purposely go somewhere else, like let's say Antigua, right? Because that's what just comes to my mind. And you tour houses and go to open houses when you travel? Why?
I guess it's a way that you can write off the trip. You're like, we stopped by an open house. Here's the record. Like, we're doing market research. This whole trip was a tax write-off.
Okay, there
Maybe?
is that.
I don't know.
But to spend the time going to a different market's open house just because you want to look at houses, is they have some dedication there. They like houses.
I don't think we did a single house tour in Alaska until we had one under contract.
Oh.
Did we?
No.
I don't think we went into a single house. We looked at the options.
And we haven't.
Yeah, we knew the areas, right? So we looked at what was there. We sent our agent. Our agent did the recon for us, gave us the thumbs up, thumbs down on whether he thought it was good structurally. We asked for, what are the smells like? What's the bones like? Those kind of things. And then we looked at kind of an estimate of the work, and then once it looked like a winner, we put it under contract, and then I flew up and I saw it during the inspection.
That kind of reminds me of people who are relocating. That's the way that they do it. A lot of the times.
It's in my opinion, that's the easier way to do it. But like when my parents moved to Georgia, we stopped off after a trip down to Florida, spent 3 or 4 days getting toured around, looking at a bunch of homes. Then mom and dad came down, left me with grandma, and they did some tour shopping and then found their house, and then put it under contract while I was up with grandma as a kid. So I mean, back then, that was 98. You didn't have the ability, like photos weren't what they are now. The internet isn't what it is now. Like you had to do that.
You did.
Nowadays, the technology is amazing. You can see most of your concerns right off the bat, and you can Google Street View the neighborhood, so that you're just kind of getting up. You're going to check the boxes and make sure everything you thought was accurate.
Right, because as you keep on saying, when you make money or you buy the house and make money, it's not when you sell it.
Correct.
Maybe you can word that better.
You make your money when you buy the house, not when you sell it. This is a standard phrase in real estate investing, because when you buy a house, you're buying problems. You always are. Like, if it's not a problem today, there will be a problem, whether that's leaky pipes or systems go wrong. So if you're really going to make your money, you're going to buy it for a lot less than what it's worth today, and that's going to become equity. Or you're going to buy a property that needs work, and then you're going to build that sweat equity by doing the work yourself. So you get the premium of having the work done and in good condition, but at your hard cost of having it done. So you're not adding on the premium and labor and all that stuff that would go to your contractors. Yeah. So didn't it make you a little nervous though, not touring? I guess I didn't feel nervous. No, because I wanted to. Well, one, I trusted Larry. Sure. So the first house that we bought with Larry, I went up and I saw it during inspection. I actually found things in that house that the inspectors missed. Not a big deal, right? I still ended up buying the house. But I got up there and saw it and did my eyes on. The second one, we didn't even go up to see, that we bought through Larry. Arbor. That's true. Arbor, Larry calls us up and he's like, hey, I've got a listing coming up and I think this is going to match your needs. Yeah. Didn't even hit the market. The seller needed a bunch of time left in the house because they had just got married. They were going to move. So he came to us and he's like, I got a deal. This is what they want, but this is what they need. And I said, I'll give them that. We let them stay in the house for like 3 months, no rent after we bought it. And but we got a great deal. This is when everybody was bidding like $50K over. We got just market value. It was awesome. Yeah. And she was happy because she got free rent for 3 months. It was everything she wanted. And that one we didn't even go in. We had it inspected, obviously, but I never went to it because she was living in it. We just sent Larry. Yeah. But at that point, he had, shown us that he knew what he was talking about and he knew his market well. So yeah. Yeah, that was a good one. Well, we've talked about a lot of stuff today. We have. I will not be here next week. No, you won't. We may have to try and get another episode. Maybe. We're going to have to try to figure it out. I will be in Japan with our youngest. And it's going to be a ceremony that we're going to. It's a religious ceremony. So, unfortunately, we only get that day, or, the related days to the ceremony. But Japan's a little far. So we're not going for 2 days. We're going to go for about 10. Especially since I have to say hi to my family that I haven't seen in 18 years, and it's the right thing to do. 2 years. Yeah. You haven't seen them in 2 years. They will be a little mad if I don't. Yeah, no, actually, there's some, my mom's side I haven't seen in a very long time. So. Oh, you're seeing some folks you didn't get to see last time? Yeah, so that's great. I didn't get to see, I didn't get to see his family. Oh, that's right. It's been a while, so I still need to
make my rounds and say hi and be polite. And I do miss these people. They're awesome.
Oh, yeah. Well, it should be, we'll see what we can do with the show.
Yep. I wonder if we can even do one hybrid from Japan, Tokyo.
Well, this one's going to go out next week. And we have, because I've got last week's to publish today. Mm-hmm. And so this will be next week. We're going to be pretty close to Thanksgiving. We're not going to publish one for Thanksgiving, y'all. So if this comes out close to Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
We'll see if we can do. The only thing is that I'm on the opposite side of the earth. So
we'll see what we can do.
My day is your night.
Maybe we can get on a Zoom for 30 minutes or so and
Maybe.
See if we can get some insight from you on the other side of the globe. Well, thanks to everybody who donated diapers for the Kiwanis Diaper Drive or Cobb County Diaper Day Drive. Don't forget, we're early in the season. If you want to have, in our opinion, the Santa, you got to go with Santa at Phipps. And make it a part of your family tradition. It's great for us because we've been there since James wasn't even 1, so every photo is the same, and we know that by the end, when all the kids move off, we're going to have some great photos that we'll compile. And, next week, we'll have some more great information from you or for you, and we'll have a little bit more to talk about with some of our new listings, hopefully. So lots coming up. If you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe, hit the bell on YouTube, follow us on your favorite podcast platform, and please leave us a review. It helps other listeners find a great show. Oh, I will beg. I'll get down on my knees. I'll put my hands together. Please leave us a review. No, it really does. When people are finding podcasts, when the algorithm is working, 5-star reviews, comments. These are the things that help put our show in front of your neighbors. So please help us out there. We'll see you in our next episode. Hopefully it'll be next week.
Bye.
We'll see you. Bye.